Okay, I'm ready whenever you are.
We're gonna wait on her and go ahead.
I'd say go ahead.
All right, good evening, everyone. It is 4 o'clock. This is the Bluff Town Council regular meeting for December 2nd, 2025. We'll start with roll call.
Linda Sosa.
Britt Hornsby,
Ann Lepina.
Erin Nelson serving as town manager. And Jen, yeah, Jen, if you can unmute, and we're just doing roll call.
Okay, Jennifer Davila.
all right. Awesome. So, do we want to do public? Oh, no, we want to do, okay. First is the approval of Bluff Town Council regular meeting minutes of November 18th, 2025. Has everyone read them? Are there any comments?
They look good.
Okay.
I move
So-
to approve the Bluff Town Council regular meeting minutes of November 18th, 2025.
Second.
All right, any further discussion? All right, all those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, it's unanimous. Next is approval of Bluff Town Council and Bluff Planning and Zoning Commissioners Joint Work Session minutes of November 20th, 2025. Has everyone read them? Are there any comments?
I move to approve the Bluff Town Council and Bluff Planning and Zoning Commissioners Joint Work Session minutes of November 20th, 2025.
Seconded.
All right. If there's no further conversation, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All
Aye.
opposed? All right, all opposed, it's unanimous. Next we'll move into public comment. There will be 3-minute time limit for anyone who wishes to make a public comment. If you exceed the 3-minute time limit without permission, the meeting controller will mute you. Raise your hand if you are present, or raise the hand icon, or put your name in the chat box if you are virtual. Has anyone indicated they'd like to speak online?
No, we don't have any audience members here at the community center at this time. We give it just a half second for folks if they want to raise their hands or put their names in the chat box.
All right, we will close public comment and move into unfinished business. First is an update on the Bluff Cemetery and discussion and vote on Bluff Cemetery ordinance. Ann, I think this is for you.
Right now where we stand is Chris McEnany and Jens Nielsen from San Juan County Attorney's Office are working on putting together the agreement between all the partners to be able to finalize deeds and easements up on Cemetery Hill. So the partners will be, and when I say partners, meaning we're all stakeholders, no one's partnering with any other piece of it. It's just that we all will have to sign off on an agreement. And that agreement will memorialize what Hole in the Rock, Southwest Heritage, Bluff, so the BCHP, whatever they are, that group, the town, and I think that's it. And San Juan County will all sign off on it. Right now, we're working on getting that final piece of survey done by Brad Bunker. Like I said, the attorneys are working on it. And then if we've passed off our cemetery ordinance, we can start advertising for a cemetery board. My hope and goal is still to have almost everything, if not everything, finished up by the time of January 6th. But we've got a good start in the sense that we have everyone on board with having an agreement, doing easements. And one thing that came up is that the pavement, the asphalt is town maintained. There are some burials underneath there that may be from either ancient burials or hole in the rock. So the attorneys are drafting an easement to make sure that all stakeholders have access to their property to maintain it. The one thing I was really clear with Chris McEnany about was there has not been any agreement or conversation on the town's part to share maintenance of that district with any of the other stakeholders. Everybody will maintain their own section. So that's where we are with that. And then Chris McEnany has reviewed our cemetery ordinance that I drafted, made a few changes, nothing big. The biggest thing was adding the preamble information at the beginning, adding the signature lines and everything. So if people have questions, if the council has questions, this is the time to ask them. Otherwise, I would ask that we pass this ordinance tonight to keep this piece moving along.
I don't have any questions. I don't have any questions about the ordinance. I feel like we've talked about it a fair amount. It's good to hear he didn't make too many changes. Does anybody else have any discussion about the ordinance?
I'm happy with the ordinance as well.
The only request would be for either Malia or myself to go in and ensure that it is ADA compliant with like the section headings and everything. But I would say that that's strictly a formatting issue. So that would be my only comment, that it might look different than what's in the packet, but only by formatting alone. Oops, sorry, yeah.
Sorry, you keep that title. Too, I guess.
Yep.
Which, number two, about which one do I have to say that?
That would be ordinance number. Linda, help me, it's gonna be 0212. Or it's 2025-0212.
Do I have to say, do I have to read that detailed in the motion anyways? I don't think
I think you can just do the.
All right, sweet. So, motion to approve, Bluff Cemetery ordinance.
Second.
All right, any further discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, all opposed. It's unanimous. It passes. Thank you, Aaron. All right, good work. Thanks, Ann, for getting that through, Chris.
Well, we'll just keep moving this one along. I'd sure like to wrap it up by the end of the month.
And does it sound like the agreement will be able to get done by the end of the month?
The agreement's the primary thing. Once the agreement gets signed off, everything else just falls into place. So yes, I think it will.
All right, awesome. So we'll move on to number two, discussion and vote on hiring doc access or other option to convert Blufftown documents to meet compliance with the American with Disabilities Act. Malia provided some comments about this in our agenda packet. Judge, read it.
I can read it into the record if that would help. Yeah. So Malia had done research after some of the questions that were asked in the previous meeting. Namely that if we were to leave doc access, would we lose the accessibility to the documents, or are the documents converted into documents that we own? And the answer is yes. Unfortunately, we do lose access to the ADA accessible documents. So whatever that little toggle button is that you can turn on or turn off, we would lose access. Therefore, she recommends that we hire someone else to manually convert documents so that we own the documents that we have paid to convert. I would imagine, it's great that we're looking at this so early. So I would ask her, to keep finding folks, and then, either bring back options there, or we can talk about potentially, having some kind of internship program again next year if budget allows. That would, maybe be a lower hourly cost and get through some stuff.
When does this have to be done by?
We are April of 2027. Is that right, Anne? Is it April?
That's right, April 2027.
So we've got some time, but I am thankful that we were looking at those questions before we signed on. with anyone. So she and I will both continue to look at options and present back if we find another finding.
I've been looking at some other options as well. I had a call from the woman at Dock Access right before I left town, and this was while Malia was doing the research, and I asked her to confirm again that we would lose access. And so I said to her, tell me the benefit to hiring Dock Access then. If we want to switch or your company dissolves, we lose this access. What would be the benefit? And she said, other companies that are doing it, you do not, most of them, you do not lose the access, but that's why it's so much more expensive. So I think there are companies we can look at to see what expensive looks like. And I'm happy to help Malia continue to do some research, Erin, to not put that back on you. But either way, I think the reality, thank you for asking that question about the toggle, Erin. I would never have thought to ask it ever until we lost access. So yeah.
And we need to be kind of hyper vigilant, aware of any subscription model, because a lot of them do have some kind of capture, like that's the whole point. So they want you to keep paying the month. So yeah, thanks for checking it out, Malia. Is there anything else that we'd like to discuss on this right now, or we just want to wait until we get some more information about some options?
We need options.
Awesome. All right. Well, sweet. We'll move on to number 3, review and vote to accept the modified donation policy and agreement. That was also Malia, and she sent notes on that as well. And I can just read.
Yes, that's fine.
I'll just read what Malia wrote. Malia said, I have updated the requirement for a donation agreement to $250 per IRS, requiring written documentation for donations at and above $250. I mean, same thing. I think it looked good. The answering that question. I mean, I'm comfortable moving forward on this. Does anybody have anything they'd like to discuss about this?
Nope.
I'm comfortable with it.
I am too.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Malia, for pulling it together. So I will motion to accept modified donation policy and agreement as provided.
Second.
All right. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It is unanimous. Thank you, Malia. Let's see, we will move on to number 4. Review and vote. It's probably another fast one. Review and vote to accept modified art rail policy. This was Malia as well. So I'll read her note she provided for this one. She says, updated display terms, number 2, installation and removal to more clearly define expectations. Also added second bullet point to display terms, number 4, an art gallery opening in BCC with a free half-day rental to incentivize the space. Is there any further discussion on this? Or I feel good about our discussion last time this came up.
I'm good.
All right, just plow through. Then I will motion to accept the modified art rail policy as provided.
Second.
All right, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right, all opposed? All right, unanimous. Keep moving on. Sorry, I feel like I just blast through these. I just go
Meetings,
very
yeah.
quickly.
Talked about it. It's
fine. All right, number 5, discussion and vote on Bluff Community Center fee waivers. This is the topic that keeps coming up. So Malia provided comments on that as well. I'll read that. She says, I pulled the numbers for rentals paid in full, the amount waived and received and calculated if we were to have no half-day rental. And a flat rate for each space that includes cleaning fees and anything else additional, AV and linen rental. I calculated at $100 a day for our BCC, 75 day for the kitchen, $50 a day for the pavilion, restrooms and dumpster usage. The number surprised me that we waived 6,010 in fees, collected 9,769. And if we use the standard rate, I calculated we would have settled at $7,525. This would mean no waiver of fees, but they are more reasonable rates. I'm willing to look at 2024 in the same way. It will take about 1-2 hours to get the numbers.
Rick, can you go through those numbers, just the numbers again?
Yeah, I'll try to, so it was at $100 a day of BCC, $75 a day for the kitchen, $50 a day for the pavilion. We waived $6,010 in fees, collected 9,769. And if we use the standard rate, I calculated we would have settled at 7,525.
The one thing that I would just note real fast before you get too deep into discussion, since what is on the agenda would be talking about the fee waivers as opposed to a master fee schedule change, I'm not sure, I think maybe you can kind of set the direction as to where we want to go when we update the master fee schedule. But I don't know how that works. Well, actually, I have a fairly good idea that we couldn't start charging people these rates until we go through the master fee schedule, public hearing process and approvals.
And because this conversation is specifically about
The waivers,
waiver.
yes.
Okay.
Correct. So just wanted to
No, thank you.
preface that. So thank you.
Yeah, so is there any conversation to have on the waivers?
So I'm a little confused. What the waivers are for? I mean, are they for everybody? Are they for all 501Cs? Are they, it's not clear to me.
So the numbers that she had provided, so the last number she provided, if we were looking at just what happened this year, if we converted it to everyone paying the same rate. So it'd be a reduced rate of what we usually charge, but no one receives a waiver. We would have brought in just under $2,000 less than what we did. Now we waived over $6,000 for 501c3s this year, but what Malia is suggesting is we're potentially suggesting is just simplify the whole process, give a set rate for everyone, don't offer any waivers, but just bring down the price so it's more attainable for folks. And then just not processing waivers.
So who did she include in the waivers? Did she include like the Balloon Festival, the Art Festival?
That's a great question. I don't have the breakdown of that data. I believe just in like some one-off conversations with her, the Balloon Festival didn't receive a waiver, but the Arts Festival did, potentially, I think. And I think she was just following the strict 501c3 receiving the waiver. And then for example, just because it's more recent, not to call anyone out, but like the Dark Sky event, it was a 501c3 who applied for it, so they got the waiver. But she was talking about how some of these entities will do a 3-day event and it's $800 to $900 for the entire time, and then you've got the 501c3 specifically who pay just the cleaning fee of $40. And so it's a pretty major discrepancy is how she was describing it.
So let me understand this a little better. If someone rented the 3 days, they could have the waiver for all 3 of those days. I guess this is in the past and it's never really happened except maybe one time. This was supposed to be an enterprise zone. which means it pays for itself. And that's probably only happened once for one period of time. She redid the matrix sometime last year, and I thought did an incredible job. And I thought at that point, we raised some of the fees. I pulled the, some of the things that we're paying for, especially in the winter. Propane last year for the community center and the kitchen, if it's on propane, was $3,300. The electricity was almost $6,000. I mean, we're not just paying for, I mean, we're paying for really big things. And it just doesn't seem to me, this is just me, a good use of our money to give everyone kind of a break. I don't understand why we want to change it. I mean, she has simplified it with her matrix, and I think that has been going really well. I really like how she did that. So I don't understand the purpose of giving everyone cheaper access. I mean, this is a business in a way.
I think she was trying, if I understood correctly, I think her line of thinking would probably be that it just kept coming up that like, oh, like Luann had it back, you know, where she was saying like, we'll just get rid of the waivers, period, or get rid of charging people at all. I remember like, so I
Yeah.
think it was just her trying to
Trying to
say,
find a happy
yeah, happy medium
medium.
between
Yeah.
those two concerns. That is the way I was taking it, but
I think so too, and of course, with Molly on vacation this week, can't get into all the details as to, how she came up with some of these rates and everything, and I think it is very subjective. I mean, you look at different community center rates from, across small towns, across our region, it varies wildly. And so I don't think that there is a perfect solution at all. But I do want to be cognizant of, is it a lot of extra time for her to work with someone who's giving a waiver or not? Not necessarily, but I do agree that, there are additional costs when people are using the facilities. Like, we are running the air conditioner, we are running the heat, we are running the lights, we are running the stuff in the kitchen. Like, it is not free to run. But then coming down to, are we gonna waive every single 501? That kind of gets a little dicey, because that's a lot of people who are renting it, so.
So let me just ask a couple questions, Aaron. The numbers that Linda threw out for the propane and the electricity. So propane and electricity is for not just the gym, but it's for our back offices, correct?
Yes, and there are different, so the propane would be for everything. There are different meters for the electrical. And there are different meters for water as well, I believe. We've got at least 2 meters for water.
So there's a separate meter for let's just look at the gym auditorium area. Is that entirely on a separate meter? Okay.
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
So there's 3 meters, sorry. There are 3 meters, the gym, the offices, are we talking electricity?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, and the senior
Senior
center.
center.
So we have 3 meters.
And then is Fire Makes a Kitchen on this meter then?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So these are tied and then office is separate and then they're on their own.
Yeah.
but the propane is on. For the propane amount runs both our offices and the auditorium gym.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my way of thinking is that, like, I agree with both Malia and Linda. Yes, we have to try to keep the revenue coming in as close as possible to meet the expenses, but we also have to factor in that we have our offices back there. And those are part of the use that we're talking about, the cost of the use. And really only the rentals that need to be as close to an enterprise fund as we can make it. And we technically have never adopted that as an enterprise fund. I'm actually fine with giving Malia's suggestion a try. And once 2020, 2026 rolls around and the fee schedule gets adjusted. Right now, we're just talking about the waivers. I like the idea of making it simple and just then let the next council watch it for a year and see if it's feasible and if they want to revisit it. Jen, is she in a dead zone?
No, I'm not in a dead zone. I'm listening. I just, I don't have Malia's fee schedule right in front of me because I didn't bring my iPad because I thought I'd be back. I'm just concerned, I'm curious as to, I just know that the current rate is cost prohibitive to make any festivals that we're trying to do in town be lucrative. If it's $1,000 that we have to pay to the town of Bluff to rent the facility, that's $1,000 that comes out of the pocket of what's hoping to be a money-making festival. It makes it a little bit more difficult to budget that in there. But like I said, I don't have the exact fee breakdown in front of me. So, we can give it a shot. But I certainly know with things like the Dark Sky Festival, we did not have an extra $1,000 to put into the budget for facility rental. Not that it would have cost $1,000 for the Star Festival because we only had it for 2 days, but certainly with the Balloon Festival, that's $1,000. So I think it's worth a suggestion. I didn't really mean to cause so much stir when I asked if we could look at it to see, because I thought I don't think it was anyone's intention to write it as that Bob wouldn't qualify as a waiver to begin with. It's just that's just something that, quite honestly, this is the first time that any of us, I think, have even caught it that oh, Bob isn't a 501c3, it's a 501c6. That's so let's, I didn't mean to make a mountain out of a molehill.
No, I don't think you did. I mean, it seems like this is just, we've been circling this kind of conversation for 2 years now. So I don't think I don't think you made a mountain out of it at all. I guess where I'm at, where I keep coming back with this is like, I kind of want to just see everything broken down a little bit better. Like, I appreciate these numbers, but like, I almost want to see just like because it seems like there's a lot of maintenance costs that are always going on, like little nickel dime kind of stuff. It's like, it seems like I'm constantly seeing Malia fixing locks and whatever. So like, I just want to know what like the true cost are, right? Like, it is good to see like, okay, 6,000, we waived 6,000. That's a lot, But like, so that's kind of where I'm at, is I feel like every time we get to this conversation about the waiver, I just don't have quite enough information to feel confident.
So given that the amended fee schedule will have to be reviewed and this plugged in along with cemetery costs, does it just make sense to kick this out again? And if so, to when? To when there's an amended budget discussion and fees? Or do you want to go back to this in the meeting, the last meeting of the month?
Well, my hesitation with this is that the Balloon Festival is coming up next month. So, if it's something that Bob needs to address before that, then I guess we could see if somebody else wants to partner up with us to ask about the Balloon Festival. I know we're already running on a tighter budget than we would like to be on the Balloon Festival. But that's something, if I need to go to Bluff Community Foundation and have them apply for it, that's what we ended up doing with the Dark Sky Festival, then I guess that's a workaround. If we kick it, I was just kind of hoping that we could solve it before that happened.
That's honestly one of my bigger issues with this whole thing, is that like, there is this workaround built, you know what I mean? Like, if you know how to, you have to be in town, but not really. If you get any 501c3 that writes the letter and then doesn't have any intention to actually be here or do anything, just seems like a gap.
So this, first of all, this has been going on for years. This is, so Jen, this is not, don't feel anything bad about this. We have been going back and forth for years. Probably since, well, after COVID, it's about how we should do it. But it is possible to do a custom report on Polaris that pulls out the numbers for the community center, whatever accounts there are. So that could kind of easily be done, actually, to
Yeah.
figure out what those costs are.
Just like having these little businesses, basically, you know what I mean, like little budgets, like on their own. And this has been like a quagmire. I mean, when we first started, Jen, it was all the fire basic kitchen talk, like for what seemed like months, like at the time. I mean, I guess, Ann, my preference for handling it is to, yeah, bump it to the fee schedule talk, and when it comes up there, we can address it. And bring up the idea of the waiver to the new council and see.
Yeah.
Welcome to the issue, but I mean, I guess that'd be my preference than trying to rush something through. And Jen, if you're comfortable with, your path forward with getting a 501c3 for the balloon festival.
I can certainly try.
All right, sweet. Is there any further discussion on this then?
So just one comment, Jen, if you could let me know when I start putting the agenda together for the work session and the short voting we'll need to do next week, if you still want to have a vote on whether or not we would waive the fee for business owners of Bluff if, for the balloon festival, if you don't find an alternative path, would you just let me know?
Yeah, I will. I'll try to get a hold of Drew. I guess he's our best contact for Bluff Community Development, and see what they can do.
Okay.
But-
I've got this on my list, so I hopefully will be able to remember to follow up with you.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. All right, we'll move to number 6, update on Acton and Sitla litigation. Ann and Aaron.
So, we still have not wrapped this up. The attorneys are going back and forth on the survey and the languages of everything. I would hope that by next week, we've submitted everything we need to submit to the lieutenant governor, because we are way off the mark on the time frame, which don't anybody ask me the exact time frame because it's foggy now in my brain, but I believe it's somewhere around within 30 days of the time that we vote, and we are well past that. So Chris is working with, Chris McEnany's working with Landon, the main attorney, to try to clean this up. It shouldn't be hard. The problem is it's hard. And so we don't have a final word on this. We're just going to keep plugging away, and I'll keep nagging Chris McEnany because we have to get this done now. So that I was hoping to have a good update, and I don't.
Is there anything we will have to do about that 30-day mark, or we're good to just keep going?
We're not good to keep going. When I get back on Thursday, I will talk with Aaron, but my recollection is that if at 30 days we haven't completed it, we need to notify the lieutenant governor's office. So I'll pull that up and look at it. I've asked for some direction about what the next step is, and having heard none, I'll figure it out. But I'm sure we're not going to get an objection from Sitla or the Actons, and those would be the ones that would be objecting. So.
Thank you, Ann. Aaron, did you have anything?
Every time I talk to Chris, I bring it up. So he says he's working.
The gift that keeps on giving.
Dude.
All right, well, if there's no further discussion on that, we'll move on to new business. Number 7, discussion and vote to approve a letter of support for Bears Ears Partnership for funding to launch the River Education and Conservation Program. Ann.
So I believe you have a copy of the letter of support, and I don't recall the deadline that they wanted it, but if everyone's comfortable with this, if you've read it, then we just need a vote to approve it.
I'm going to abstain from this stuff since I work for Bears Ears Partnership, so.
Any questions? Then I make a motion to approve the letter of support for Bears Ears Partnership for funding to launch the River Education and Conservation Program.
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 All right, those opposed, I will abstain. It passes unanimous. Well.
Can you check, Jen, are you on right now?
What did she not say?
I vote in favor of the letter of support.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Ann. All right, we'll move to number 8, discussion and vote to approve a letter to the Governor's Office of Economic Opportunity for extension to funding. Ann, this was you.
So I believe that the letter was for a 6-month extension. Is that it? Yes, for a 6-month extension for our funding, in the hope that Malia can continue to work her magic of moving funds around to be able to utilize them as we need them for the Cooperative Cultural Center. Just for everyone's information, I believe I've already signed that and we've sent it in because time was of the essence. So hopefully I get retroactive approval to have done that. Any questions?
No, I motion to support the letter of request of fund extensions for the economic development grant.
Second.
All right, we have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, those opposed. All right, passes unanimous. Thank you very much. Man, we're blasting through this. All right, number 9, discussion and vote on meeting dates and times for 2026 with input from incoming council members. And this is you as well.
Well, in my brain, I had intended to reach out to everybody who's incoming and realized today, as I was enjoying a day's vacation at the Frick Museum, I did not. So here would be my suggestion is that we just move this to a quick vote next week and I get back and I talk with Josh and Gary and Spencer's. By the way, Spencer's absence is excused. He requested to be excused. And we just move this to that very quick 15 minutes that I've promised you. I'm tacking on just to vote on some of these things. So if everyone's okay, I'll just do that. And then Josh, if you're on, I'll be reaching out to you sometime after Thursday.
I'm on, yeah, thank you. So this would be further discussion next Tuesday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I will talk to you beforehand so I know what your opinion is as to days and times, and the same with Gary. And then
I mean, if you'd like, I could take talking with Gary, like handle talking with folks ahead of time.
I just as soon do it so that I'm comfortable with what I have to say. But you could feel free to talk to him though. That's fine. And Spencer as well. I'll just touch base with him at some point. So I'm moving
Well,
that.
if you're going to do it, I will happily delegate. There's no reason for 2 of us to have the same combo.
Okay. Then I'll talk to you when I get back. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks for handling that. And any further discussion before we move on? All right, move to number 10, discussion.
Sorry,
Go ahead,
Britt.
Jen.
I am still in favor of keeping Tuesdays, if I can just throw that out in the air.
You can.
Yeah,
Okay,
me too.
thanks, Jen.
Tuesdays are the day I plan to have kind of ruined, like from my scheduling perspective, like, I mean, just
You
like.
mean enlightened
I-
and exciting and, you know, all the excitement.
I cram
but not
everything in.
ruined.
Everything in on Tuesday, all of it.
No,
on
I-
Tuesdays.
It's Monday
Yes.
2.0. It's-
Yeah. Sweet, so we'll move to number 10, discussion and vote on stipends. This is everyone.
And just, Anne pointed out to me, it probably should be saying bonuses,
Okay,
not stipends, but I just copied what was, the verbiage from last year. This is for commissioners and employees, and it's $50, and what we've done previously is give them this bonus at the end of the year.
is there any further discussion on this? I mean, how many people?
I'm added up real
Yeah.
fast. Now we've got Corey, Chris, and we also have the other 4 P and Zers. So, Tasha, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 people?
That includes Kathy.
Yes.
I motion that we approve the bonuses for our commissioners and staffs.
Second it.
Awesome. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Those opposed, it passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Awesome. Just cruising. All right, number 11, discussion and vote to pay the bills. Aaron.
Alrighty, so in your agenda packets today, you should have received the accounts payable report. Couple weird ones. So I had been going back and forth with Diamond Propane, got a bill for the tank rental. And I didn't think that we were renting the tank here. I thought it belonged to us. And so had gone back and forth with their new billing person. And she said, well, you've paid for 2 years a tank rental fee. And so I haven't gone back to look through those invoices to see if we've paid those or not. But I know I had pulled Linda in, I've talked to Ann about it. So I'd like to keep this one maybe outstanding until I do a little bit more research. Cause I was fairly strong in my conviction. I was like, we're not renting that from you, Diamond Propane, but maybe we are. So I have that one highlighted in red. I also have Galaxy IT highlighted in red. So this one's interesting because it gets withdrawn from our account automatically. And it just came through today. But it seems like it's a little high this month. And I think what I was seeing is it's for an unlimited remote service, and we don't have unlimited, like we have we can contact them between these business hours. It's not unlimited. So, we get charged extra for extra projects, etc. So I am following up with their accounting department. But those two, either Diamond, I don't want to pay, or I would recommend not paying yet until we get more research done. And then IT, I'm attempting to go back and amend what they've withdrawn from our account already. Everything else is kind of business as usual. For accounting services, phase 3 of audit prep has been billed for. That was billed for in November. And it does look like the audit team is almost finished, which is great because it's been almost 6 months. And then we also have the field work for Century Mapping has been completed. So that's kind of like their phase 2 invoice has been completed. The rest of it is kind of business as usual. So open to any questions or comments.
The Galaxy IT thing, I mean, they haven't been asked to do anything in particular other than like get Spencer on
Correct, no, there's nothing out of the ordinary for them. The only thing is we're right about at that year mark where we signed on with them last year. So I don't, and I had verified in one of my monthly meetings that, you know, we don't need to sign a new contract, and nope, it just continues on as is unless we were to terminate or they were to terminate. And there's a clause in there about the termination, but there shouldn't be that kind of increase, so that's why I'm following up. Cause I'm just wondering if something weird in their billing system, you know, changed us to a higher level of service. And I would dispute that, of course, so, yeah.
As for Diamond, I would have them look for a tank rental agreement if they think they have one. Cause
Thanks, Jen.
I think I would tend to agree with you that they probably don't own that tank, but who knows?
And I can take a look at the back BSA information, but we had the same problem with AmeriGas at our house, claiming all of a sudden that we were renting but we had bought it, and they couldn't come up with any paperwork. So I would agree with Jen, ask them for the rental agreement, and then I can take a look at the BSA information, see if I can find anything.
Thank you both for those recommendations. I appreciate it. I will let you know how that pans out in an upcoming meeting for the rest of you. All right.
So, motion to pay the bills, with Aaron's notes.
Second.
All right, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Bye.
Those opposed? All right, it's unanimous. Awesome. And then, let's see, okay, now we're on to, number 12, update on agenda packet administrative process. This is Ann.
I don't think so. I think it's Aaron.
Oh.
Sure. I think this is on here because we're going to change how we do things going into 2026. And so I've been moving things to Malia and Aaron. So is there anything in particular we need to talk about?
I would just say, so the timing is kind of funny with Malia being out of office this week. But we were talking about ensuring continuity after our changeover in council. And so, you know, to make it a little bit more of an administrative process, Malia is a highly organized individual and I love her for that. So our recommendation is that agenda items would be sent to her. And that way she understands the full process. She's already the owner of, you know, the minutes and everything. And so, and, you know, has access to the Utah Public Notice website, our website, et cetera, et cetera. So what I would recommend is that for the next 2 meetings, items be sent to her. She can make sure that she's touching base with Linda and to make sure that everything looks as it should, but that way she is well versed in the process. So come January, we have an administrative staff member who's able to pull together the agendas and, you know, understands the flow, understands what elements. I mean, we all know what elements are supposed to be there, but that'll kind of put ownership on her. Whereas, you know, up until this point, Linda and Anne have diligently done the agendas for the last 7 years. So we're kind of passing the baton, and I think Malia would be a really great person to do that. I ever so slightly was like, I want, and then I was like, you know what? Malia would be a really great fit for this. So that's kind of my recommendation. And I think it's great for all of us to be trained in it. But if we can have her as point person, it'll help simplify the process.
And she'll build the agenda packet too.
She will, but it'll probably be a joint effort still, which is what we've kind of been bleeding into, is both of us are putting stuff in there. So, yeah.
I do have one comment. If I'm recalling the obligations and duties correctly, the mayor has to set the agenda. And the reason is because the mayor doesn't have to put everything on the agenda. And then it falls to 2 people on the council to override the mayor. So there is a piece that we need to work out moving forward. And I'm happy to work with Malia and Aaron to do that. But I don't want us to be skipping process that the incoming mayor is going to be still needing to do. We just need to figure out how that works.
Could we just have it where like Malia's the one who's building the physical agenda and it still goes to you, and then Josh can determine through action whether he wants to delegate that duty or not?
Let's have a conversation about that.
Okay.
Because yeah, let's just go ahead and say that the concept is a great idea to do it that way. But whether the process is, how we implement that is something we should look at. But yes, it is more of an administrative piece to get it put together with the approval of the agenda items.
And when you're having those conversations later, the email blast should be part of it, because the agenda goes out on the email blast and it goes out also to commissioners and council members, so.
I will probably get with you on that, so it'll probably be my bucket, so. Yeah, let's you and I touch base in the next week or so and make sure I'm well versed. Or at the very least, well versed enough to pass it on to another council member to come and share. Documented and ready. Okay,
We'll make note that Jen has come in physically. She's at the building.
Jen's in the right on time.
Just in time.
Yeah, you were. It's not your fault that Britt like moved us today.
Checks.
Good, thank you.
Awesome. Sweet. Is there anything else on that? Okay, awesome. Well, thank you all for doing it. Appreciate it, especially the agenda packet. Awesome. So we'll move to number 13, other. Does anyone have any other?
I have a very short other. Our playground equipment was delivered, which is very exciting. It feels early. I don't know if we actually had a delivery date set, but I got a call yesterday at 3:30 when I was in a meeting in Monticello, and they're like, your stuff's almost here. I'm like, what do you mean? So the playground is well on its way. Props to the playground committee and to Malia and to everyone pulling all of that with that grant. Very exciting to see the physical stuff showing up. And a big thanks to the Design Build Bluff students for helping us unpack the truck today. They made light work of the probably many tons of equipment that is there. So big, it's huge.
Classic Bluff semi truck stuff too, is like, hey.
Absolutely, yeah. And he's like, usually there's a forklift to unload this. I'm like, don't worry. There are 14 people ready to go. So
Yeah.
big thanks to everyone. Thanks to Joan for sending me to them. So yay, that grant is just moving right along. So maybe we can get a formal update in the upcoming meeting, but I just wanted to call out the great work. So thank you.
What's the next step with it, since it's sitting there?
I don't know.
Our next step, I think, is we have to get leveled, where we're wanting to put it. We've got to get a water line capped, we've got.
Need their sidewalk in.
I don't know, I don't think the
Do they go
sidewalk has
back
to
and
go
forth
in
on that?
before the playground equipment does, but I
Okay.
could be wrong on that. And I believe, if memory serves me correctly, that we are not doing the install, so,
Okay.
People kept asking me that today, and I was like, I don't know.
I think that was part of what we paid the
I hope so.
playground company, but
Yeah.
if we are doing the install, it won't be the first time we've done an install.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah, that's exciting. Awesome. Sweet. Does anybody else have any other? I do want to say just quickly that, obviously we're all thinking about and concerned about the Joe paycheck situation. And that I know folks have asked what town body is doing, and we're supporting our EMS and trying to be good neighbors. That's about what we can do for this body right now. So, but I just want to say we are thinking about and concerned and participating where we can. Awesome. Anybody have anything else?
Speaking of EMS, one of our EMS persons just passed her national test.
Or did she
Congratulations.
pass? Yay.
Today, we're gonna do cheesecake at some point.
Cool, congrats. That's awesome. Any more other? All right, it is 4:55.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, it's unanimous. All right, thank you very much, everybody. Be safe, Ann.
Yep, I'll see you in a couple days.
See ya.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.